What you're about to see isn't just rare photos. Each shot has a mind-blowing story that few people know about. Take this photo, for example.
The Beach Boys hitting the sand with their iconic striped Pendleton shirts and a surfboard, probably early 60s. These guys practically invented the California sound, all about surfing, cars, and endless summer. Even if they weren't all hardcore surfers, they sure sold that dream to the rest of us. Hollywood mom, Debbie Reynolds, shares a sweet moment with young Carrie Fisher around 1961. Debbie was America's sweetheart, and little Carrie was already getting a taste of showbiz life. No one knew then she'd become a galactic princess and a sharp-witted icon in her own right. Back in the 70s, Southwest Airlines definitely knew how to grab attention. Their stewardesses rocked these famous hot pants and go-go boots as part of their Love Airline image. It was a bold marketing move that played up the fun and slightly rebellious spirit of the airline. Candice Bergen looking cool and thoughtful in this 60s shot, likely around the time she was transitioning from top model to actress. She always had that striking beauty combined with an intelligent presence. You could see the future Murphy Brown even back then. Check out these New York subway commuters in 1953, and notice what's missing? Newspapers. This was snapped during a citywide newspaper strike. Folks look a bit lost without their daily read, a reminder of how crucial papers were before round-the-clock news on your phone. Cool behind-the-scenes shot from Pulp Fiction. Step aboard Hugh Hefner's Big Bunny, the customized Playboy DC-9 jet from the 70s. These weren't just any flight attendants. They were specially trained jet bunnies in iconic outfits, serving up luxury at 30,000 feet. Talk about flying in style. This plane had a disco, a living room, and even a round bed. Metallica looking young and hungry, probably around 85 during their Ride the Lightning tour. James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, Lars Ulrich, and the late great Cliff Burton. Pure raw thrash metal energy. From the band shirts to the attitude, this captures them right as they were about to explode into megastars. Hollywood legends James Stewart in his Army Air Forces uniform with Ginger Rogers at the Academy Awards dinner in February 1942. America was deep into what to, and Stewart was one of the first big stars to enlist. A poignant image of glamour and duty during a very serious time. Remember this crazy fad? Phone booth stuffing was all the rage with college students in the late 50s. Just a bunch of guys, and sometimes gals, cramming themselves into a tiny phone booth for kicks. Different times, different ways to have some harmless, if cramped, fun. Tech titans Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in deep discussion at Jobs' California home 1991. Their relationship was complex, rivals, sometimes collaborators, always pushing the boundaries of personal computing. Imagine being a fly on the wall for that conversation about the future. Pure Sinatra mania captured here around 1940 as a young Frank Sinatra gets mobbed by adoring fans. The intensity is palpable. They're grabbing, reaching, just desperate for a touch of their idol. This was the birth of the modern pop superstar frenzy. Can't get to the pool? The pool comes to you. This is a swimmobile, basically a swimming pool on a truck trailer, cooling off folks on a hot New York City street in 1960. A creative way to bring summer fun right into the neighborhood. The horrific end of the airship era. The German Zeppelin Hindenburg bursts into flames while trying to dock at Lakehurst, New Jersey, May 6, 1937. The disaster happened in seconds, claiming 36 lives and shocking the world. That iconic footage and photos are seared into history. Hollywood glamour queen Lana Turner looking stunning in a still from the 1944 MGM film Marriage is a Private Affair. Even in a relatively simple house dress, she radiated that classic movie star wattage. Wartime audiences definitely appreciated that kind of escapism. Surrealist master Salvador Dali looking perfectly at home in a Venetian gondola, likely during the 1961 Venice Film Festival. Rocking that signature mustache and a dapper hat, he's pure Dali. Even on the water, always knew how to make an entrance, that guy. Incredible courage shown by Dorothy Counts as she walks to integrate Harry Harding High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, September 1957. Look at the jeering crowd behind her, a stark reminder of the ugliness she faced. Her bravery paved the way, even though the harassment forced her to withdraw after just 4 days. U.S. President Gerald Ford on a state visit to Spain, riding with Generalissimo Francisco Franco in Madrid, likely May, June 1975. This was a significant diplomatic trip, happening just months before Franco's passing and Spain's transition to democracy. Captures a moment of old-world power dynamics on display. Talk about a high-wire act. Ironworkers from Local 40 and Port Authority carefully guide a section of the World Trade Center's massive antenna into place. 1979. This photo, taken by Peter B. Kaplan, shows them working over 1,600 feet above the streets. No room for error up there, just pure skill and guts. If you rode the gritty NYC subways in the early 80s, seeing these guys, the Guardian Angels, was a welcome sight. Unarmed civilian patrols founded by Curtis Sliwa. They rode the trains to deter crime with their distinctive red berets and dare-to-care attitude. Real citizen action trying to make the city safer. Swedish-American dynamo Anne Margaret looking absolutely stunning. Probably in a studio shot from the 1960s. Whether singing, dancing, or acting, she had this incredible energy and charisma that just popped off the screen. A true showbiz firecracker. President Franklin D. Roosevelt in his study, likely during his White House years in the 30s or 40s. Surrounded by books, he projects that calm, confident leadership that guided America through the Great Depression and most of World War II. Amazing to think he achieved all that while largely concealing his reliance on a wheelchair. The defining moment of the 1975 World Series Red Sox catcher Carlton Fisk, willing his walk-off home run fair in Game 6. The ball hit the foul pole, the crowd went nuts, and Fisk's frantic waving became an iconic baseball image. Pure Fenway Park magic that forced a Game 7. A moment of calm amidst the chaos. A U.S. soldier from the 25th Infantry Division strums a guitar for his buddies in Vietnam, 1968. The Oklahoma Kid helmet graffiti adds a personal touch. Music was a vital escape and connection for guys serving so far from home. Hollywood tough guy Burt Lancaster, looking surprisingly dapper with a mustache and bow tie, reading a letter in Venice, likely 1960s. Known for his athletic roles, this shot shows a more suave, reflective side of the actor against a classic Italian backdrop. Always had that star quality. President Kennedy performing the annual Thanksgiving turkey pardon at the White House, November 1963. That sign, "Good eating, Mr. President," is a bit dark in hindsight. This was one of his last public ceremonies just days before Dallas, making it a poignant image. Eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes himself at the controls of a large radio-controlled model of his massive H-4 Hercules, better known as the Spruce Goose. This was likely in the mid-40s during its development. Shows his hands-on approach, even with a scaled-down version of the biggest flying boat ever built. This isn't just a box of baby stuff, it's a Finnish emergency maternity package from around 1939, likely just before the Winter War. These kits, providing essentials for newborns and new mothers, were a crucial part of Finland's public health efforts. The box itself was designed to double as a bassinet. A woman stands confidently on a street, likely in a newer development in Iran during the 1960s. Her modern hairstyle and coat reflect the era's fashion trends, offering a glimpse into urban life at the time. The backdrop of uniform apartment blocks suggests a period of modernization. Even on the grim march towards Berlin in 1945, Soviet soldiers found a moment for a morale boost. Here, they're captivated by an acrobatic performance put on for the troops, likely by a frontline entertainment brigade. A rare bit of levity and distraction from the harsh realities of war's end. Hollywood power couple Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh kicking back at home, likely mid-50s. They were box office gold, but this shot offers a rare glimpse of their supposed domestic bliss before things got complicated. Looks like the picture of a happy Hollywood family right there before the tabloids had their say. That's a young Grace Kelly, fresh-faced and probably just out of high school in the late 40s. Long before she became Hollywood royalty and then actual royalty, she had this classic, understated elegance. You can see the star quality already, even in this simple, early photo. Chinese leader Jiang Zemin shares a moment with veteran U.S. diplomat Henry Kissinger in 1995. Kissinger, long out of office, still played a key back-channel role in U.S.-China relations. Meetings like this were crucial for navigating the tricky dynamics between the two powers during the post-Cold War era. Hard to picture this dapper young fella as the future bull moose. That's Teddy Roosevelt during his Harvard days, likely late 1870s. Before the Rough Riders and the big stick diplomacy, he was a rather studious, if somewhat frail young man. Quite the transformation into the rugged outdoorsman president we remember. Even presidents get playful. Jimmy Carter caught mid-leap over a fence, looking pretty athletic. This shot likely captures his down-to-earth, no-fuss style during his presidency, or maybe even on the campaign trail. Always came across as a regular guy, even in the White House. Check out the sharp threads on these two Cambridge University students from 1926, rocking those wide-legged Oxford bags trousers and tailored jackets, pure Roaring Twenties campus style. These fellas look like they stepped right out of a P.G. Wodehouse novel. Photographer Paul Almasy freezes a perfect Parisian moment, a couple lost in a dance by the Seine in the 1950s. The onlookers, the stone arch, the gentle river, it's got that timeless charm. You can almost hear an accordion playing softly in the background. Talk about seeing double or quadruple. Prince Charles meets a lineup of Princess Diana lookalikes during a royal visit to New Zealand in 1981. Dimania was at its absolute peak then, and this photo perfectly captures the global fascination with the fairy tale princess. Actress Jean Tierney, one of Hollywood's most stunning beauties, in a captivating portrait from 1940. This was the year she really broke through with films that showcased her unique looks and talent. Those eyes could tell 1,000 stories, perfect for the film noir era. A stark image from the late Soviet Union, likely 1980s. A shopper pushing a cart past nearly empty freezer shelves in a grocery store. Scenes like this became increasingly common, highlighting the widespread shortages and economic struggles, a quiet sign of a system beginning to crumble. The revolution in motion, workers on Henry Ford's Model T assembly line around 1920. This wasn't just about building cars faster, it changed manufacturing forever and put automobiles within reach of ordinary folks. Hard, repetitive work, but it built modern America. An incredible shot of the innovative floor truss system being assembled high up during the World Trade Center's construction in the early 70s. This lightweight, prefabricated design allowed for vast open office spaces without interior columns. Shows the sheer scale and engineering ingenuity involved in building those towers. Dolly Parton in full superstar glow, captured by photographer Harry Langdon in 1978. She was already a huge country name and crossing over to pop success, with that unmistakable voice and larger-than-life persona. This shot perfectly captures her iconic, dazzling 70s style. A rare glimpse of country music queen Dolly Parton with her famously private husband Carl Dean. They married way back in 1966 and kept their relationship largely out of the spotlight, which is pretty amazing in showbiz. This photo shows them looking like any other happy couple, away from the stage lights. President Franklin Roosevelt and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt with Madame Chiang Kai-shek of China, likely during her pivotal 1943 U.S. visit. She was a powerful, eloquent advocate seeking American support for China's war effort against Japan, a key moment in wartime diplomacy and alliance building. Imagine the excitement, a whole truckload of shiny new Fords rolling into a small town, likely just before or right after World War II. This exact image is often dated 1940. Folks are gathered outside the local Ford dealership on a snowy day, probably dreaming about hitting the road in one of those fresh models, a real slice of Americana. Man, that's not a building, that's the supertanker Esso Hibernia towering over a residential street in Wallsend, UK, around 1970. This beast was built at the Swan Hunter shipyards, and its sheer size dwarfs everything around it. Must have been an incredible, slightly terrifying sight for the locals watching it take shape. Even geniuses dress down sometimes. That's Albert Einstein in a comfy sweater and slacks, likely during his time at Princeton in the 40s. You can see some of his equations on the blackboard behind him. Just a casual look at one of the greatest minds of the 20th century in his teaching element. A bird's eye view of a busy streetcar intersection, probably in Boston, sometime in the 1950s. You've got PCC streetcars, classic cars, and pedestrians navigating the city grid. Captures the organized chaos and distinct look of mid-century urban transit. The famous side-eye moment. Sophia Loren gives Jane Mansfield a legendary once-over at a Hollywood party in 1956.